Welcome to Fox Soul's Black Report, your daily source for Black news, views, and opinions. Today is Friday, July 8th, and I'm Mimi Brown.
And I'm Romeo.
I'm Demi Lobo. And on today's report, today, gay marriage and birth control could be the next right reversed by the U.S. Supreme Court. An opinion by Justice Clarence Thomas has Americans very worried. Meanwhile, a Massachusetts judge is allowing a black woman to shoot Harvard University for photos the school has of her enslaved ancestors. Then, people who like to play music loud in their cars could face fines if they live in Florida. We have those stories and more.
Plus, comedian Jeff Brown is here to take a look at this week's headlines with a side eye, and Michael Jordan is getting flack for not taking a photo with a young fan. We have all that and so much more coming up right now, right here at Fox Soul's Black Report. Let's go.
As we continue to cover the backlash of the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade, this ruling has many people concerned about the Supreme Court and that they could overturn more landmark cases. In fact, Justice Clarence Thomas made the argument to do just that. In a concurring opinion, he urged his colleagues to reevaluate cases that protect access to contraceptives and same-sex marriages. Thomas argues that the right to abortion is not a form of liberty protected by the Due Process Clause, and that some reasoning should be applied more broadly. You know, what's interesting to me, okay, so we should absolutely be worried that contraceptives and gay marriage are on the chopping block. What was so interesting about this is that he left out Loving v. Virginia, which is the right to marry interracially. We know that he has a wife who is white and he is black. Right. And so if we're overturning things, why didn't we mention this? Because this right here, the precedent that Loving v. Virginia set, it goes in line with gay marriage and it goes in line with same-sex marriage.
You know, what bothers me is that a person deciding to love who they want to love should be their choice. A person deciding to have a baby or not have a baby should be their choice. Clarence Thomas is one person, honestly, I think should be quiet because you're deciding to love someone who is, you know, a danger to our society, a danger to the government. So you're someone who's deciding to go forward with how you feel, although people disagree with the person that you love right now. So I feel like when you throw stones at a glass house, like we say a lot of times, those are the people that we should not be hearing from.
You know, I can imagine him at the, saying these things and getting a pat on his back by his Republican Party saying, you're the man. You're like, he's feeling good right now, right? And we should be concerned. Because if they can get away with this, Roe v. Wade, you think they're not going to try and push the envelope even further? So what do we have to do as a country, as people of color? What do we have to do to make sure we fight back and that we are prepared? Because he's saying this, he's putting it out there. And this is going to be on the ballot next. I'm telling you, they're going to be voting on this.
Absolutely.
It's coming, for sure.
Absolutely, Romeo, and you're right. He is pushing the envelope even further. But what is so interesting to me is, like I said, like, you know, he is such a hypocrite because the things that affect him, he's silent on, right? We saw that with his wife and the insurrection and all of that. He's silent on those things. And so you're bringing up everything that affects every other American citizen besides the things that affect you in your household. And so I think, you know, again, I know at some point they were looking at the rule of ethics for Supreme Court justices. And for me right now, Clarence Thomas, he's checking off every violation that there could be.
You know, to me, honestly, Mimi and Romeo, because I wonder why do topics like this even affect the average white male Republican? And I feel like everything goes back down to Republicans feeling like the white demographic is dwindling. So if you cancel Roe v. Wade, then you have to have more white women. Again, like I said before, my breakdown, more white women reproducing more white children. For same-sex marriages, if they can't have co-produce together, then that means that they want more people to have children together, more white people to have children together, and still that goes back to the narrative of increasing the white population. Because I'm trying to figure out why else would this matter to the everyday average white male? What would this mean to them? Same-sex marriage, and why does Roe v. Wade? Why does it matter?
It's power tripping to the fullest. It really is to the fullest. And like I said, they're doing this, and of course the Democrat, you know, we have the president, right? We have the Senate, we have the House. Now imagine if all that flips, what we're going to have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about it.
Very scary times that we're living in right now. Soulmates, we absolutely will keep you posted on that story and more. Now, the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe versus Wade is catapulting the issue of abortion rights directly into the midterm elections. Democrats are looking to put the issue front and center. Democratic candidates up and down the ballot issued their reaction in a bunch of statements following the decision. And the party's national campaign is rolling out a website designed to help voters channel anger into the action and organize with local field campaigns. While issues like rising inflation, crime, and the flow of migrants over the border have dominated the rhetoric on the GOP side, Democrats are hoping to use the High Court's decision to galvanize their own base.
The Black Veterans Empowerment Council of Coalition of 19 black veteran groups are gathering in Washington, D.C. to discuss barriers to benefits, policies, measures, and equity. The group is aiming its effect to collaborate with other black veteran organizations to address the number of issues black veterans have routinely faced dating back to the end of World War II. According to the Defense Department, just over 17% of active duty military members identity as black, and that same demographic account for just under 12% of all black veterans. Members say their struggles after leaving the Army and the lack of support from the Department of Veteran Affairs office is what inspired them to create the Black Veterans Project. For more information, check it out at b-v-e-council.org.
And the highest court in Massachusetts is delivering a partial victory to a Connecticut woman who sued Harvard University over its ownership of photographs that she says depict her ancestors enslaved. The state Supreme Judicial Court ruled that Tamara Lanier may sue the Ivy League University over emotional distress over the public photos and remanded part of her claim to the state Superior Court. Lanier, her lawsuit centers on the photos taken in 1850 that depict a South Carolina slave named Renty, who was Lanier's great-great-grandfather and his daughter Delta. The pictures show them topless and from various angles and were taken against their will. Now, these photos are believed to be among the earliest images of enslaved black Americans. A Harvard biologist commissioned the photos as part of his academic work to support his white supremacist theories about black people. Now, Lanier is accusing Harvard of exposing the pictures for profit after an image of Renty appeared on a book cover. Now, in the ruling, the justices say Harvard failed to contact Lanier when it used one of the images on a book cover and on conference materials.
Now, Kyle Rittenhouse, the teenager acquitted of first-degree intentional homicide and 4 other felony charges, has a new video game that allows you to shoot fake news turkeys. The controversial public figure was wounded, found to have legally used self-defense after shooting 2 people dead and wounding another at a protest in Kenosha in August of 2020. The game, a turkey shoot, it costs about $10. Now, according to the website, the proceeds from the video game will go towards funding Rittenhouse's defamation lawsuits against the media for how they recovered his trial.
The black members of North Carolina Association of Realtors may be having second thoughts about the group keeping its headquarters in a historic mansion that was built for a Confederate officer. The property was constructed for Colonel Jonathan McGee Heck in 1872. It's now known as the Heck Andrews House. It stood vacant for more than 3 decades. However, about 6 years ago, the new owner, North Carolina Realtors, paid $1.5 million to take over the mansion and spent millions renovating it. Now that is complete, black members of the North Carolina Realtors are taking a closer look at the home's history and the questions if it's a good look for them to be there. The North Carolina Realtors releasing a statement saying in part, while we can't change the past, we can use history to educate the public about our country's imperfections. We can use the house to build a more perfect future.
And 2 Texas officers stopped a man leaving a 7-Eleven store in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, claiming he broke a parking law.
Can we see some ID?
No, what for?
I just asked you.
What's your probable cause to ask me for ID?
It does not have a handicap placard.
Read the plate, man. You don't even know what you're talking about.
The man, a retired black veteran and police academy graduate, not only proved to officers they were wrong in their assessment, but he also videotaped the incident so the world could see racial profiling in real time. Michael McQueen, a former soldier who was disabled, believes the officers stopped him not because he was illegally parked in a handicapped parking spot, as they originally claimed, but because he was black. The officers then asked McQueen for his documentation. Minutes later, veteran officials confirmed everything he said was true. The exchange has now gone viral. once again, we have to prove our very existence. This man served his country. He got hurt in the process, and he can't even park in a close parking spot to make himself comfortable as he goes in and out of a store without being harassed. The fact is that they called to verify that he was his credentials after he gave it to them, and they didn't even say, I'm sorry. They didn't apologize. And when the veteran, the black man, said, hey, you know, we're on the same side, the cop said something like, no, we're not, and walked away.
Well, we're not. They're not on the same side.
But they're not on the same side.
But
to his point, veterans who serve this country, right, should be on the same side as police officers. They should have seen him as an equal, someone who gave their life, right, so that others could have freedom. That's essentially what a police officer is supposed to do.
I'm completely on your side.
Yes, okay.
But they're not on the same side as, and I mean that to be facetious.
Yes.
Exactly. That they don't look at us as a black man,
Yes.
a veteran, like you guys are saying, that served in that served for our country and put their lives on the line. They don't view us
Absolutely,
as
they
the
don't.
same. You're absolutely
They
right.
don't.
That we should be on the same side. We should feel, oh, this is one of my brothers in whatever, I don't know, whatever the other term is there, my brother in, you know, but secure, I don't know what the word is, but they should be looked at like that. But a black man is never going to be looked at the same as a white man and never going to be looked at the same as a white cop. So sadly, that's what we have to deal with today in today's America.
And that's why he said he released it, because of that comment. That comment was so, he said he was so taken aback by that comment and that he wanted everyone to know that this is how they think of us.
Racial profiling at its finest. That's exactly what that was. And it's so unfortunate. Like you said, this man went and fought to protect not only them, but their families and their family's family. And this is what he gets in return. This is the thanks that he gets. It happens over and over again. And I just applaud this man for knowing the law and knowing his rights and for videotaping, because we have to see this.
Absolutely, Romeo, because I think back to a day where we didn't have video footage to be able to post and make it readily available right away online. So happy that the world got a chance to see who this man really is. A black man who spent 3 decades in prison for a murder he did not commit has filed a multi-million-dollar federal lawsuit naming the city of Chicago and the detectives who are believed to have framed him. James Allen was exonerated after another person confessed to the crime, and now he would like to be compensated for every single year in between 1987 and 2021 when he was locked away. Now, according to a lawsuit, the now 72-year-old is alleging he was forced to confess to the number of Robert Kowalski, a white man who was shot to death in front of his Hyde Park home on August 1st, 1984. Allen says that he spent about 35 years for this armed robbery and murder that he did not commit in jail. He and his team, they're asking a judge to award him $100 million for his wrongful conviction, as well as pain and suffering. I think about 1987, that's almost my entire life. This man has been in jail almost my entire life, and so hopefully they are compensated for the time that he's spent behind bars.
I just think it should be no question.
Absolutely.
There should be something that you're willing to offer him with an apology.
For the time spent.
An apology doesn't even do much.
Exactly.
Agreed.
I agree.
There's a new law now in effect in Florida that allows officers to ticket drivers who are playing loud music. The law went into effect July 1st. Now, according to the law, if music can be heard 25 feet away from your vehicles, you can be ticketed. The bill specifically mentions car music playing too loud near churches, schools, or hospitals. Violations of the new law could get you a non-moving violation ticket, which is around $114, and it could cost you your life depending on what color you are.
Right.
To me, this is just all bad, because this is just giving police officers another reason maybe to racially profile. You know, like if you're someone with loud music, maybe you can pass by them, hit them with beep, and be like, you know, can you turn it down, give them a warning, right? I don't know if it's a need to go to that extent. Well, you know what happened with the young man, I believe his name was Jordan Davis.
That's
Remember,
right.
he was at the gas station, and a man took him to his own hands to take his life because of loud music. We cannot give them another reason to stop us and do something like that.
And that was also in Florida. This law just screams racist.
Absolutely.
Everything about it.
Yeah, definitely.
It does.
All right. A Georgia woman will spend 1 year in jail after pleading guilty to the accidental death of 2 men who drowned during a birthday boat party in 2021. Police say Shantovier Kirkland pushed 2 men into the lake. The best friend of one of the men jumped in to try and save him, but both disappeared into the water. The men's body were recovered a week later. More than a dozen people were on the boat at the time of the birthday celebration. Despite Kirkland showing remorse for their death, family members say the victims believe the court was too lenient with this sentencing, and she should have been sentenced to more time behind bars. you know, this is a hard situation to be in. You're at a birthday celebration, you're having fun, and you jokingly push someone into the water, they lose their life. But for me, I would never push anyone into the water because I don't want anyone to do that to me.
Yeah.
I would, you know what I mean? First of all, I don't want you to wet my hair. Second of all, I can't really swim.
Okay.
So I would never think that is a joke, and so I would never think that it's funny to just push someone into the water.
And the pool is one thing to like joke around, throwing someone in the pool. We joke around like that, throwing with someone in the pool. That's one thing. But for a lake, was this in a?
It was a lake.
It was in a lake.
Yeah.
This is one thing that I really don't play about. I lost one of my near and dear friends to a current in Chicago because you think that they were just in the water, just like having fun. No one threw them in there, but a person was drowning, and then he went in to go save them. He lost his life trying to help them because you just don't know what the waves. You could just think you're in there having a fun time, and those waves will come and it's a matter of minutes.
Yeah.
He lost his life literally a couple of years ago. So that's just something that I just do not take lightly about the playing in the water. Like it's just too unforgivable. You don't know what the water has in store for you. Yeah. And I just encourage all of our soulmates not to play around with it.
No, I mean, what was supposed to be a celebration ended in a tragedy, and that's so unfortunate. It really, really is. Nobody won in this situation.
Absolutely.
Really.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like even for the family members that are left behind, that's a really sticky situation to be in.
Who do you blame?
Who do you blame?
And how do you even cope with what just happened?
Absolutely, because she didn't do it on purpose, but still two people died. So it's still a very serious situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's very hard.